morning. Welcome back to Bear Grounds Homestead. My name's Don Bear. Like I said, we've been getting stuff ready for the winter. Been stockpiling, anything we can get handy for firewood. I've got some rounds cut, and one thing that saves a lot of time, even though we purchased some firewood, we also harvest some from the property. But a friend of mine felt sorry for me about 3 years ago because I'm getting arthritis in my shoulders. And from Harbor Freight, we got this little Predator 20-ton log splitter, and it splits flat, but it's got a blade on it that's set up. You can split going either way. If you can put a log in here, push it through, and then put another one back here, and it'll split it on the way back, which is handy as all get out, especially when you're splitting wood for a wood stove, because you don't want it giant pieces. You want stuff that'll catch pretty easily. But yeah, we've got a pretty good pile back there. We have more under the lean-to over here, some over by the old house. But you never know what kind of winter you're going to have. You may use 5 cords, you may use 8. All depending on how cold it gets. But I guess I'll go ahead and give you a little demonstration of this fine piece of equipment. I've put the boards on there just to keep some of the smaller stuff from falling through. And of course a piece of PVC for the control, because it's kind of short and hard to reach. But, well, let me give you a little show here. Well, it is still a little cool this morning. We were down about 30 degrees, had a little frost. It's up to about probably 40 degrees now, but I need to just crank it up, doesn't take a lot, and just let it warm up a little bit and let the oil cycle through a few times before I start splitting. It's kind of a good thing to do in colder weather, because the engine oils that they ask you to use on them aren't really made for super cold weather, because once it gets like below like 25 degrees, I don't even touch this thing, just to be on the safe side. I don't want to hear any knocking. Like I said, this is a handy little thing, but having the ability to split both ways. Sometimes Carmen, she'll come and just run the handle for me, so I can just put a bunch of wood through this thing. I have it piled up here in the back of the wagon. Just reach out of the wagon, split it, throw it in the front, go stack it, get another load. So hey, Predator 20-ton Harbor Freight, man, they're hard to beat. But I guess that's about all I can tell you about this thing. You don't want to watch me split it the other way. That's too nobody wants to laugh that hard. All right, we'll see you all next time.
In this little bonus, I'm going to show you what to do with potato skins. These are potatoes that were washed, scrubbed, rinsed, and then dried off in this bowl with a little paper towel underneath to collect any excess moisture. I got some hot grease going here. It's not hot enough when I put my tester in, but when it started bubbling real good is when I realized the oil was hot enough, and I think all I had in there was just regular old vegetable oil. So I threw in part of my potato skins, and we're going to cook these up. I had 40 pounds of potatoes that I had canned, and they have to be peeled before you can them. What I decided to do was I had all of these potato skins left over, and some of them went to the chickens, some of them went to the compost, as they normally do on a homestead. And if I still had a vermicompost going, which that's your worms, I would have given some to the worms, but there was a lot of waste. And I decided, since it's part of a potato, and I like potatoes, I like the skins of potato too, what would happen if I tried to fry some up? So I got my grease going here, and when I was filming this, I'm in the middle of cooking dinner and making croutons. I got a bunch of stuff going on, but I decided to add these. I was making soup. We had split pea soup that night, and I used these potato skins as a topping, and then some of them I just bagged up and stuck in the fridge and threw them in the oven the next day, and we ended up having them as a side for sandwiches at lunchtime. So something to do. I'm seasoning them right here with salt. You always want to season them really well when they come out of the oil. So in goes my next batch, and I toss them around to get them seasoned up. But I was thinking another option to do with these potato skins is to use them in place of potatoes if you were going to make scalloped potatoes for a meal. So if you were to have your, whatever you're using potatoes for, and you have a bunch of skins left over, that right there would be a great substitute and give you another meal for, or a side. You can even probably put ham in it and make a whole meal out of it. Something to stretch, something that would typically go to waste. You're always looking how to use waste items on your homestead, or something that would be considered waste. Potato skins, for example. Carrot peelings is another thing. Carrot tops can even be made into soup. There's all different kinds of things that you can use, again, that would typically be going to compost bin or the garden, or even your animals can be used for, human consumption too, especially if it's a vegetable or a fruit. You're going to have to get creative and think out of the side of the box. Now, don't get me wrong. I do think you need some things to go to your animals and some things that should go in the compost. But when you're trying to stretch things and make a budget work further or go a little farther, definitely getting creative with something that would typically be a scrap would be fantastic. And in some cases, even if you're not on a homestead and you're in the city and this is a dream one day, it'd be good practice now. These were delicious. Seasoned with a little salt. They were crunchy. They were really good, actually. They'd be even good as a topping in some casseroles, or even in some breakfast casseroles. Oh, that'd be fantastic. You just got to get creative with how you use things and how you incorporate things into different meals or what things could be used for. Sorry if y'all hear our kitten in the background. He's very fussy, and apparently everybody is just making him mad and when they're trying to play right now, so I apologize for that. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Bare Grounds Homestead, and we're hoping to get back on track with things. Things have been a little off lately. We had a lot of losses from pets and from friends, and it kind of put us in a little funk for a while. But I'm hoping to get over that and be back on track now. So we wanted to bring you this lovely and creative little thing, and seasoning with some more salt right there, to things to think about. Do some research. think of how you can do things differently and, enjoy those good things, because it's amazing what you can do with something that would be considered scrap. Well, we hope you guys stay tuned and like, subscribe, and share.